It's our regular January 13th, 2026 commissioner meeting. Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
any additions to the agenda?
Chairman, I do have one under auditors, approve auditors warrant. We did have an add-on warrant for Monday, 1/9/26, the amount $353,383.41. $353,383.41. And Chairman, as far as personnel goes, Charlotte is ill today. So the only personnel item I will have, what's on the agenda, is be the 2026 non-union pay plan.
Mr. Chair, changes on the agenda. Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of consent agenda. We have the minutes from our 12/23/25 board meeting and January 6/26 quarterly baseball meeting. Auditors warrants from 1/9 of $353,383.41. Commissioner warrants $657,416.26. Hospital warrants $359,762.48. Motion to approve consent agenda. I'll support that. Motion for a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, point of clarification, the $353,000 one should be dated 1/12 instead of 1/9.
Yep.
Thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
Not a whole lot for me today. First up will be some project updates. The 2025 gravel crushing project is done. And in a little bit here, I'll ask to the final payment for that. And the next update I have would be the 2026 seal coats and overlays. Just a reminder that they open in February. Next up, asking to approve the final payment for the 2025 gravel crushing, sweeping, sand and gravel. The amount of the final payment is $12,419.47. And then I have listed at the bottom, the original contract amount, final, they're within $500,000, so it's pretty close. Final gravel that big, so we work was really good. We're really happy with the kind of issue. So,
Mr. Chair, we'll final payment for gravel crushing.
Second.
Second.
The second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
all right, next up for me, I have some maintenance updates. For the last month, we have removed a pair of beaver dams, about 2 days, sanded for 3 days. We did some cleanup work at our island yard and hauled a little gravel back in the meantime, so it's stockpiled there. We did some cleanup work in our pit and some training. Then a couple side notes that the ambulance chassis is ready to go and we're scheduled to pick that up tomorrow. So, and then lastly, we had a hydraulic line blow in the engine compartment on our Holland blade, and it soaked everything down with oil in there until I got the manifold wet or whatever, and that started that fire. But our operator was able to get out and put it out in time, so it charred up some stuff in the engine compartment, but it still has everything. It's
So sort of minor. Or not.
well, I hate to say that, you know how this stuff goes, and it's here to be minor for now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, we had to have RDO come down and they got the hydraulic line replaced and there's a few other things that. There's some wiring harnesses that got kind of torched and we'll see if we can repair or have to replace. But either way, looks like we avoided major catastrophe for them also. So if you hear something about it, that's what happened.
So it was in the engine compartment or was it in the cab?
It was in the engine compartment. That's why he didn't supposed to see it right away. It's behind him, you know, and he had got out and I think he said he got back to his shop and you know, that's when he found it and he followed the oil back and I think it only leaked for a block or two. So it must have been a big leak. But no injuries and it will be, you know, there'll be a few bills coming from our, you know, that's what they're.
Anything we need to file with them, see anything
I
or
don't
damage?
so
Okay.
we'll see when it comes in, but I don't think so.
So what's the deductible?
At least.
That could be easy over the house.
Yeah.
Well,
They
yeah,
start doing fire.
yeah, it could, but would they cover that?
Fire.
We'll always turn it in. We have
Okay.
fire, let's go ahead and send it in. All they can do is say no, so. That's what we paid premiums for, so.
Yeah.
Go ahead and file a claim.
I'm glad it's not worse.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, once I heard we had a fire here, I'm thinking all thing virtually around it.
What year blade is it?
I don't remember, but it's our middle of the road one. So we have two that are older than this one and two that are older than this one.
Out of warranty.
So it has engine and drivetrain warranty, but this is not covered under that. This would be though. That if you remember the comprehensive warranty, what this would have been like the fancy
Right.
upgrade that we didn't do. We just updated or just did the big thing. So. Stuff happened.
Yeah.
Could have been much worse.
Always sense.
Right, right, at least nobody got hurt. So. All right, well,
Yeah, the good news, you got the worst.
we haven't been plowing snow, so it's saving money there, so we can return the place, right?
I think I was wondering if are you guys working on any of the bridge inspection, repair stuff for the nice weather?
I'm not sure. I have to check on that. I know we've done that in the
Perfect
past.
time.
Yep, no, I get it.
Okay.
I'd have to check on it.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all I have for this meeting. Any other questions for me? Otherwise, I have a committee meeting, so it looks like short. So if something comes up. Yeah. All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Nick.
Sure. A little bit deeper in your folder, you'll have, two items. One would be the record for board action, the other one would be the chart for the 2026 hourly pay plan. Requesting the board adopt this, so going to start in January 1st of this year. The recommendation is a 3% increase in pay plan for 2026. You can see on the backside, you have the grades for each of the annual salaries, and on the other side, you have the hourly salary for it. And we are working in negotiations with unions. We have been working and have agreement with one to move this one on a 3% wage increase to 26. Recommendation would be to approve the pay plan as presented for the non-union. And it's also budgeted for.
Make a motion to approve the 3%. I'll support that. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion. We'll schedule a public meeting of the deer hunting watching.
Yeah, but then watching my emails that are coming in, I'm seeing I've got an app that MCAP put together called Basecamp. I don't know if they have it for commissioners, not, but they have it for all the administrators and coordinators around the state where they can put information on. You've probably been hearing it from your other commissioners as well, and maybe constituents about the deer hunting change that will happen next year. Counties around us have been having meetings with the public to get their opinions on it. Some are changing and going to allowing rifle. Others are saying we're staying with the shotgun. But I think probably in the county business is to have a public meeting and invite public and hunters and get some opinions, and we can also let them know what's going on with the statute as well. And understand, we did not ask for this. The DNR did the change and we're caught. We first heard about this last. Excuse me.
The legislature.
Legislator did.
I mean, DNR is
Well,
responsible for enforcing.
Right.
But I mean, the legislature made a change.
True.
I've had a lot of questions on it. I would like to welcome a public meeting so people can express it. If we do nothing, then something reverts to rifles, so.
Correct.
And that's for this fall, that next year.
Being 26.
Right.
Yeah, 26 and 2026.
You know what, we have to do something by March 1st.
Yeah,
It's just if we want to get into the pamphlet.
Okay.
Right.
Which I would think you'd want to be,
If you're gonna oppose it, yes.
if you're going to charge that, you want to get that.
Right.
Otherwise it is, right?
Yes.
Right,
Right.
correct, yeah, yeah.
And the board would have to pass a resolution to that effect and we send that off to DNR before the deadline.
No, I agree. I think it would be very good to have a public meeting on it. Just a matter of when we could. I don't know if it's better for our constituents in the evening, during the day. What do you guys think?
My opinion would be an evening meeting. I think you would get more people than during the day than my thought anyway.
Yeah.
Entirely up to you.
And of course, you'll advertise it in the paper.
Absolutely.
Oh, I don't know that question. Be nice to get it yet in January.
No, that's a question after I ever.
Right, we've got to publish a notice for
How
2
about,
weeks. You have to do it in February, I'd recommend.
Tuesday, February 3rd. Yeah. Just put that. And give you 3 weeks to advertise and. Being a first Tuesday, you know.
Yeah, right.
7 PM on Tuesday, February 3rd.
Okay. Make the motion.
Tuesday, okay, 3rd. Okay, we got a motion and a second to schedule the public meeting for 2026 deer hunting law change for 7 PM Tuesday, February 3rd. Any further discussion?
Doug, did you second that?
Yes. I did. Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed, motion carries.
As far as location, recommend we start here. We can add a bunch of chairs. If we get bigger than that, we can move the community room if we need to.
Yeah. Please.
Planning commissioner during that. Kyle and Joe, I do have a copy of what's going on here. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I'll give you a couple of these. You guys want copies of this? You seen it? You guys all got them?
I think so.
Okay. If you do, I've got extras here. So I've been looking around and trying to get some information from counties around this, and so there's a lot of talk, but they don't know what everybody's gonna do yet, so.
Has anybody made an official determination yet?
I believe so.
I did.
Yeah, and I believe Rock.
Rock has had a meeting, I don't know if they've,
I thought I read they had decided.
You think it's gonna really be a mess, because some counties are gonna be different than others.
In the zone is 2 miles into Pipestone County.
Right, the zones don't correspond with
Right.
county boundaries.
So,
Our north zone goes to Highway 14 in Lincoln County. And on the east end, it goes into Murray County at Highway 91. And the south one is virtually the county line.
no.
It's close, isn't it?
2 miles north of that.
Oh, 2 north of that?
That's where I live. So on one side of the road is one zone, and one side of the road is the other zone. Yeah, both times.
Right.
For deer, for no permits, that happens.
You don't care.
And they do ask.
I'm sure, yeah.
Renee's not here yet, so. There's some committee reports, just to. Yeah.
Sure.
Sadly, I think I forgot to bring mine, so.
I really don't need to bring that in because I attended both commissioner meetings in the hospital where they had no committee assignments attended. So no CPT, we're hold on that. That's all I have.
Regular board and intrusion taxation, 2nd of December. The AMC conference, it was like 7, 8, 9, I believe, something. And I'm on the transportation and infrastructure policy committee. There are 2 things they had was wetland replacement. They want you to do a 1-to-1 ratio instead of 1-to-2 ratio. And then the other thing was the termination of North Star commuter rail. I think they want to get some help for the counties that were affected, that paid millions to help with that. And now it's not going. That was the only 2 things they actually had. So, and I went to 6 workshops. And then on 15th, we had union negotiations. Also on the 15th, the private industry council in Marshall approved a request for 2 grants and approved to apply for five more grants. And I don't know, this kind of came up at the meeting, but the talk about the CDL license with Minnesota Rest. And I asked, what does it cost? And they said it's $7,000 at Minnesota West. Then they go through that. Then on the 17th, Southwest Health and Human Services, 22nd, another union negotiation. And then the 23rd, the regular board meeting here and at the hospital.
Renee's here, so can bring her up. Good morning, Renee.
Good morning, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So my meeting is very simple. I'm just presenting a memorandum of understanding with retrospect. That's the program that I use for my client data. And I had Dane review the memorandum. He said it's very simple. They provide a service, they offer the service, we use the service. There's nothing to be concerned about with this memorandum. So he said that he approves the memorandum, and this is just something that we need to do to continue having the program.
How long have you been using that?
Ever since I've been in the office, and I think Brian used it prior.
I've been for a long time. Sure.
And I love the program. I use it, many of you know I have a nursing background. It's not charted. It didn't happen. And I use this program to the fullest extent. So this is a wonderful program that helps keep me safe throughout all of my client pile. So
Mr. Chair, I'll approved expenditure of $475.54 to renew the software program.
Okay.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion?
Budget.
It is budgeted, yeah. Every year it's budgeted.
Anything else? Not all those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Thank you so much. I'll just need a signature from Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Thanks for that.
Regular meetings and the PSU meeting at night. 9 to 10, the AMC conference. I'm on the policy committee. Sometimes it feels like spinning the wheels on there, but it's. Give your opinion, that's all you can do, I guess. No. But all the meetings and stuff too, so. 17th, Plum Creek, our end of the year kind of meeting. A lot of housekeeping to do. Talked about the new van. Our new van is 2 years old, 100,000 miles already. They put a ton of miles on it. It's too small. They're doing so well that there are more books are moving around. So she decided whether to get a bigger one. To go bigger one, you need a different driver type license. So it's all. You don't want to go more than twice a week. All small employees. We'll work through it. 23rd was a regular meeting here and also at the hospital.
Month of December for myself, TNT on the 2nd, Wednesday the 3rd, I had my ACE meeting over at Slayton, facing funding challenges yet as well too. We're still uncertain where we're at, and the final decision on what will be charged to the other members won't be until probably 2 to 3 months yet, once we find out what the funding is. On the 4th, at our prime budget meeting up with Alex, a lot of discussion there, of course, as you know, we did win our lawsuit now, so we've got single source, see a large influx of members for that, and we're geared up for that as well too. One thing I think I'd point out too, I don't remember if I mentioned before, they talk about all the fraud going on and so forth. As you recall, almost a year ago now, our people, they were very diligent and they were noticing that we were being charged for transportation to methadone clinics. And they matched it up with doctor visits and they didn't match. And found out that there was a major fraud going on with that vendor and they were ahead of that curve and got stopped. And I really commend them for being very in tune with what they're doing.
Remember, it was in the millions, so.
Millions.
It was just for Prime West.
Just for Prime West, yeah. Again, the scenario is that patients suffering from addiction have to go to medical clinic, and it is just more pill, but they have to go every day in person to have counseling before they're given a pill. And it was up in the loop, right?
So they brought it quite a ways to
Yeah.
different locations.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they did a good job for us on that. My next meeting then was on the 11th. We had our plant ops at the hospital, and then follow up with that too. You are talking about tree construction too. Luke and I are on the plant ops at the hospital, and then we met with tree construction. They're going to be like
project man.
project manager of the foundation. So I was very impressed with them.
Oh, yeah, and they, of course, worked with us in the past and previous hospital expansion.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
That was on the 16th, 17th, they had help, Southwest Health Human Services. No real big changes there, other than some personnel changes. I don't think there's anything else to stood out with that.
Special, I don't think.
No, none. We had our solid waste meeting on the 18th, so Luke and I, where we adjusted our solid waste fees. And that was it for the month of December for me.
Operating maintenance.
Yeah.
Okay, the main. The chips contract. Yeah.
You know, you have that in front of you, it's no different than we last entered into, everything remains the same with much in market. From my standpoint, it goes well. We have an attorney that signed this case and then back up and put in what we're doing. And it's really good to have that. So I would ask the court to approve that. I know that typically we would enter into 2 contracts, so the board would. The other one would be Smith and Johnson, but Kaylee Johnson who was doing it, so then put it to the bench. So we don't have that. Court administration has been appointing other law firms, 2 out of Marshall, 1 out of, I believe, Montevideo that we don't have contracts with. So, you know, maybe some in the future, some consideration might be given to reaching out to one of those firms and getting the same type of agreement in place so that, you know, for lack of a better term. So, but I'd ask the court to approve it. It's a good contract. Good firm to work with.
I'd like to note, I'm going to abstain from this since I can't remember correctly. Receiving the services.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve this contract with the service.
Yeah, I'll support that. The motion is second. Any further discussion?
This, Mr. Chairman, board member, this is the same amount as last year, no change.
Right.
And that didn't go up.
Not too many of those. All right, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any for abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. Geology.
Moving on, that were easy for.
Another thing, anything else going on for you? Or?
It's just every day. Yeah, you know, I don't talk too much about what goes on.
I understand.
Yeah, so. But it's always interesting. You don't have anything else on the agenda to see on that?
You're on the tab. I guess with that, we can recess till 10.
We'll have to. Sorry, we didn't have more on the agenda.
Video. Doug had a question on the CDLs. Oh, no, it's just, so does an individual have to take the accredited course or can you still take a test?
I asked them. No, they don't.
Okay,
If you can just do it the old school way and study and pass it. I think they said it's a long ways out to get an appointment to take the test.
right.
I don't remember it was like quite a few months to get an appointment to actually take the test.
For the
Drive.
okay.
Yep.
So,
And they don't do the driving test here, you know, or anything. A long time ago, they did, when they were the first one, with the CDLs.
If we can reconvene,
You know,
we have a public hearing for the solid waste and services. We have a motion to open the public hearing.
so moved.
Second.
Move the second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those motion carries.
Sure. Chris and Gene to come up too, but neither one wanted to. So did we open the hearing?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't hear that back there, but, the solid waste committee meeting, or solid waste committee met on the 18th of December. We've had the solid waste ordinance in place. Sure.
Thank you.
Solid waste ordinance has been in place since 91, and we haven't updated it since then. Over the years, the codes that the assessor's office utilizes have changed, and some of them are no longer used, others have been added. So it's something that we've been looking at changing for a number of years. Finally, Chris spent the time to go through it, highlighted the recommended changes. We don't know for sure how these proposed changes are going to affect the actual revenue through the county, through the assessment that we've got. But it's going to make, hopefully, the process is going to be easier for the assessor's office to put the assessments on, and it's going to be more consistent going forward. Some of the main changes, you can see on the sheet there how they changed, but there was a lot of discrepancy in the past as far as using the gross value or the assessed value of the businesses and how many units they would pay. So we tried to simplify that, and I think Chris mainly put most of those at about 3. So businesses are paying 3 units per business rather than having all of that variation from 1 to 6 in the past. What else do we want to cover?
You're getting away from fractional
Correct.
amounts.
And yeah, that was probably the biggest thing. CPT no longer allows the fractions to be used. It needs to be a round number going forward. And that needed to be changed. Kind of that initiated the whole process of this change. So
But the fee is gonna remain the same.
yeah, we are proposing to leave the fee at $44. That was increased last year from 36 to 44. And I was proposing to go from 44 to 52 this year. But now with these proposed changes, we are going to be putting assessments on properties with structures. So in the past, we've only been putting the assessments on primarily the residents. Now there'll be assessments on all structures, regardless of a residence or not. So there'll be a significant number added to the assessments that'll be paying assessment that haven't in the past. So I'm thinking we'll move forward with the $44 for another year and then adjust it next year accordingly based on what we would maybe be lacking or maybe not even needing. So just to see how that comes out. So this is the proposed modifications to the fee schedules and the units. And it's an ordinance basically, so that's the need for the public hearing. And I have not received any comments from the general public or any questions. We did publish it in the paper. So comments, questions?
When the solid waste committee met with you and the assessors as well too, I just really appreciate the light work you guys did. You did a very good job of explaining why we had to do this, how it's going to work, and I feel very comfortable with this.
And we did go, we spent about 2 hours going through it line by line and getting input from Luke and Dan as far as what they felt was a reasonable amount of units to be paid.
My personal feeling is that our taxpayers, our constituents aren't going to be impacted that greatly on this. Basically, it's just cleaning up, like you said, this unit number going from fractions to whole units, and then adopting some other properties that weren't really dealing with that before. So I don't think we're going to see a huge impact. No.
So I would agree. Yeah, it's not going to be significant. So, but there are individuals that do come in and ask, what is this solid waste assessment? What's it used for? And just give you a little background on that. The solid waste assessment is
I've given you the sheets in the past. I think it's around 230,000 is what it generates for revenue. It primarily pays for a recycling contract with Van Dyke's, which is about 180,000. It pays for our hazardous waste building, which our disposal costs are about 40,000 a year. We pay staffing for the building too, so our hazardous waste building costs the county probably about 100,000 a year. It pays a third of my salary, and then it also contributes about 50,000 to the soil and water for their time spent on solid waste related activities too. So, and then in addition to that, it covers us being part of the solid waste commission and being part of the Lyon County landfill organization to ensure that we have a viable disposal location for garbage.
So one comment again about our household hazardous waste program we have, I was just so impressed with that as well too. Most counties don't do what we do.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think we can, in our rural area, we don't see dumping. As you see in some other areas, because they've got a proper place to come dispose of stuff properly, and I just think it's a great service, and really it's what this whole solid waste fee is really intended for. I know there's a lot of counties that use it for other staff costs, other issues. They put it into what it is.
Yeah, where they're charging an additional fee when you drop off your hazardous waste items. And we just accept them all and no additional charge.
I think with tires, I think
Tires are the only things.
yeah, that's so expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it's charging the cost.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, it's much easier to explain to the general public what they pay that fee for if you can say you're able to bring your materials to the hazardous waste building.
Yeah,
and get
appliances,
free.
electronics,
Yes.
paint, whatever.
Yep.
Sure, I have a question. Did I understand that the biggest change is gonna be you're gonna add the solid waste fee to places that don't have a house?
Correct.
So it's gonna affect some farmers.
It definitely will affect farmers. Yeah, so bin sites, hog barns, just a machine shed, those type of structures are now going to be paying that assessment on those places where they don't have a house.
You'll get the feedback now if that comes out. That wasn't in the advertising.
Well, it's something that you can't go. I wasn't able to go into that much detail in the advertising.
Nobody talk about this, but you're
Right.
gonna do some now.
Oh, definitely. Yep.
Yeah, would that be like just anything that's got a 911 number? Is that why you? About that?
I'll let Chris or Gene maybe explain that because it was kind of a recommendation that they had to keep it consistent.
You know, the rural part. You know, if a bin site has a 911 number, then how you decided which?
Basically, it's if the buildings were $1,000 or more, then we put it on there.
Okay.
Yeah, so then it was kind of a standard fee for everybody.
So it'll include locations in town also where there is a garage without a house. It's now going to be paying the assessment also. So it's not just out in the country. It's going to be countywide in the city and county or in the country too.
And for like a rural farmhouse, you're not charging additional for their outbuildings or whatever. Is that, I mean, it's just one for the family site, so to say. They've been paying that before. That's not a big rent. Right. But if you start charging for the ones that they got half mile away. Right. You know, they're gonna know it's that. Oh, yeah, yeah.
In my opinion, it really is justified again because they look at, does it generate waste? So does that once a mile away generate waste? Well, not every week it doesn't, but occasionally there's gonna be some.
End of life it will.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you can tell.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like there's going to be not every location has a dumpster or something like that. They have garbage pickup. We're using a more broad spectrum of, is it possible to have waste produced at that location?
And you mentioned hog confinements, where in the past you would have a new hog confinement out there, and that wasn't being charged a solid waste fee, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And obviously, new modern hog facilities do generate, so it's kind of trying to clean up some of those.
There isn't it's never gonna be perfect. This was kind of a way to try to say it's evenly dispersed over everyone paying a small portion of that. And my hope is that if, we'll know next year, but if we don't have to increase it, I mean, that's, some other people are paying it, so it offsets it, but hopefully we can keep the fee as low as possible.
And of course, everyone's able to drop off their hazardous waste materials at no additional charge.
Right.
And everyone seems to have a certain amount of that. I'm just glad that we're not double dipping like a lot of counties where they're charging an additional fee.
Yeah.
To drop off your, paint or chemicals or,
Yeah.
appliances or electronics or whatever.
Don't talk about mattresses.
Hopefully we are working on things regionally as far as mattresses too. I don't know if the current process is the best as far as, taking them somewhere, getting them recycled. Going through, some facilities are grinding them and it's working very well. So I think there's alternatives maybe to do some different things with that, but it needs to be, we need to continue to work on some of those bigger problems like mattresses.
They're still being burned, not necessarily in our county, but other places.
Correct. Yeah, and they shouldn't be burnt. I mean, that's probably the worst thing to do with them because of all of the materials in them, right?
Any other comments or public comments?
Mr. Chair, I move that we go out of our public hearing.
Second.
Motion second to close the public hearing. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And we do need to take action on this to approve the resolution. Make that motion, right? Approve the resolution. Okay.
I will second.
Moved and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks.
Chairman, this will be resolution 59-09-166.
Retrieve my committee reports, so I'm. On the second, of course, that we have truth and taxation. On the fourth, area 2 nurse we met, to be routine there and just ongoing projects. If the environment, if we can be at a nuclear energy update in June. On the 6th, in the township officers meeting. The 7th, attended the ANC board and Minnesota County meeting. Heard from Representative Nathan Coulter. So 8th through the 10th had the EMC conference. We had a number of platform amendments to discuss it at the Environment and Natural Resources Committee. The only one that did not carry was the solid waste management districts. On a split vote, and initially they were planning to do a minority report to the AMC coordinating committee, but they decided not to at the last minute, so nothing really came of it. But
Because that was kind of interesting, because that had only happened once before, something was gonna do a minority report. In this case, the Kindle development, so. And then attended a number of sessions throughout that conference, had plant ops on the 11th at the hospital. And courthouse negotiations on the 15th. We had that meeting with Journey Construction on the 16th. The Soil and Water District meeting and the Solid Waste Committee meeting on the 18th. The resolution that was passed. And an executive RCRCA meeting on the 22nd, then union negotiations with the highway department. And the hospital board meeting on the 23rd. Personnel meeting on the 29th. So we're there anything else to be brought up today? Move to adjourn. Sure, okay. Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next meetings will be on 27th, for a regular meeting and our hospital meeting. We haven't seen that for both conferences, 21st, 23rd, in case anyone can make it.
It'll be well worthwhile.
It would, I mean, there's really some important information being discussed there. And, you know, we really like to hear something about the data centers and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's gonna be an ongoing issue for a lot of us. And we haven't had any proposed here yet, but I'm sure it's just a matter of time.
Well,
Nice to follow. It's gonna go with this, right?